That's right. I wonder he's fallen on hard times, and that's why he's painting walls in Cornwall. Let's hope not, Batto. Here we go. Will at uni in Exeter says, thinks the show great, thanks very much. Also listening to new different artists to normal. Do you think you could play a song by Fat Freddy's Drop, Wandering Eye? No, not today. Not today, on account of it not being one of my all-time favourites. My girlfriend lives in New Zealand, which is a bit annoying, as I am in Exeter. Ooh.
Exeter is a long way from London.
A long-distance relationship's going to struggle.
It's the closest you're going to get to New Zealand in England, though, pretty much.
Yeah.
So he's not done badly.
We've been experiencing live music, Harry, haven't we, in the last 7 days?
Yeah.
You went to see who last night? No, this is very much about Cutting Edge, this station.
Well, the search for new music never ends, Steve. It's an endless quest. New music forever being created, and it's there to be absorbed by all. Rick Wakeman, Wackos, big friend of the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
Present for my dad's birthday last year. Hampton Court, doing his classic 73 album, King Henry, The Six Wives of Henry VIII.
Wow.
It was
remarkable.
It was remarkable.
Yeah.
It was incredible. He had 3 robe changes. He came on with a red one, he got into a gold glittery one, there was a blue one, I think, and a black one.
Yeah.
He had 9 keyboards. There was a guy behind him with 7 keyboards.
Wow.
That's 16 keyboards. They all kind of sounded the same. There was a 7-man band, the English Rock Ensemble. He had the English Chamber Choir, sadly not featuring Tiny Dan's Mrs. Marilyn, who usually is in it. He had a 72-piece orchestra.
What?
But of course,
this is extraordinary.
The music was fabulous, but for something like this, you need something to hang it all on. Who's the narrator? It's only Brian Blessed.
Of course it is. I've not heard that album, and it's on my must-buy list. But so does it take you through the lives of the 6 wives?
Well, it's a musical interpretation of their lives. So
Divorce, beheaded.
No. There's no
lead.
So, for example, Anne Boleyn might be where Jane Seymour might be.
I see. And how long does this go on for?
About 2.5 hours.
Wow. And at what point when does Blessed come in, and what does he provide?
He comes in between each musical piece and reads a bit about each of the wives, each of the queens, and he's fantastic because he was just reading it off a bit of paper. Obviously, he hadn't read it before because he'd get to facts and go, "Oh, didn't know that." But it was quite a nice balmy night for the start of May.
Yeah.
There's a little bit blustery, and every so often the page would blow over, and so he'd be reading it and have to really emphasise a word and stretch it out while he had to
fumble to
get
the other
back
page.
to the page.
So did that mean that Rick's cloaks were they sort of revealing his undergarments in the wind as they bellowed up?
No, he just looked like a big fat Santa.
Right.
He had like these big red trousers on, and a red jacket, and 3 robe changes.
That's
on stage robe changes as well. The wives would come on and change his robe.
Oh, there
on
were women
stage.
portraying the wives?
Yeah. Coming on and off. It was astonishing. I mean, there were about 150 people on stage. It was a huge production.
How does he
it was
make
a
any
lot of
money
fun.
from it?
Well, this is it. I mean, he lost loads of money in the 70s doing these massive gigs.
Yeah.
And for the fans who were there, it was an absolutely astonishing. I mean, I'm making a bit of fun, but it was an incredible night.
Well, I went to see someone who's perhaps a little bit more cutting edge and hip last week when I went to see a young gentleman by the name of Mr. Bob Dylan at the Roundhouse. Very excited because it was an intimate venue, the Roundhouse in Camden, playing tunes from his new album. And people have said to me, "What's Bob like now?" If you've not seen Bob live, he can be very frustrating because of his voice, which seems to have become deeper and more eccentric as time's gone on. And my friend who I went with and I, we were trying to figure out how would you describe what it was like? And the best phrase I can come up with is it's like watching an elderly cowboy who's desperate for a wee singing Bob Dylan songs in Esperanto. That's now pretty much what it sounds like. You can only figure out what song he's playing if you catch Tangled in Blue. Did he say Tangled Up in Blue? And you just hear people muttering in there. Did he say Tangled Up in Blue? Is it Tangled Up in Blue? You can't understand a word he's saying. The band, it's just got this kind of, he only ever plays the keyboard, never picks up his guitar, which is deeply frustrating. I think he played almost the entirety of his new album. And so he's a very frustrating person to go and see, but at the same time, when he does play, Blowing in the Wind, it is Bob Dylan on stage singing it, so it is kind of extraordinary, and gives us good reason to play some Bob, of course, on this final show. from Bob Dylan's 1976 album Desire, One More Cup of Coffee. Now, one of the things we've enjoyed the most in the last 2 years is coming into the Hub and welcoming bands and musicians who are much loved by music fans, but who are not necessarily household names. And I think, you know, that the band we've got with us today summarises that beautifully. Please welcome Fujiya and Miyagi. Round of applause for these guys. I think we've played you in the past, gentlemen, on the show, and we've enjoyed your sounds before. But obviously, I think we were a little bit confused. I think, like a lot of people, we assumed you were exotic and Japanese, not sort of four blokes from Brighton. Little bit disappointed that you weren't sort of a couple of Vanessa May alikes. That would have been an absolute treat. But not disappointed at all. Would you introduce yourselves to the listeners?
Yeah, I'm David, and I play guitar and sing.
Thank you very much, David.
I'm Matt, I play bass guitar. I'm Steve, and I play the synths. And I play the drums.
So no Mr. Fujiya or Mr. Miyagi?
No.
Okay. Ooh dear. You've given yourself a little bit of a difficulty there because a lot of DJs wouldn't even be able to pronounce that name. You're aware of that, aren't you?
Yeah.
Have you seen the sort of people that go into DJing? You know, there's not many university educated people out there.
Looking back, we regret the name.
Do you? Good,
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
I wanted that was what I was hoping to extract.
Yeah.
I've done it. Listen, you're going to play something for us. I know. I wanted to, get straight to that so people get a sense of you in case they've not heard you before. So what are you going to play first up?
A song called
Called There's so much work to do, haven't they, these boys, in selling themselves. Yeah. Live in the Hub. Fujiya Miyagi. Sounding great. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Is that from the new album, Light Bulbs? Light
Yes.
Bulb? Is it Light Bulb or Light Bulbs?
It's light bulbs.
Light Bulbs.
I think it's light
Why
bulbs.
do you go with Light Bulbs and not Light Bulb? Much discussion in the group?
Because I like a lot of them, not just one.
Sure, yeah, you're a big fan of it. I mean, that's great. You don't want just the one bulb in the house. That'd be crazy. You might have to keep moving it around from room to room. It'd be insane. You're trying to make music. They ain't got time for that. You want to get playing the guitar.
Yeah.
All right, good advice. I remember playing a 7-inch from you boys years back when I was on a rival radio station, and at the time I remember there was still a lot of kind of guitar music was still very heavy, and sort of Muse and bands like that were very big, and you were sort of playing stuff that was more, I guess, influenced by, Krautrock rock and sort of bands like Can, and there's a lot of sort of synthy stuff on it. And of course, it seems now that synth music seems to be all the rage again, and so much of kind of pop music now has got the synths, and it sort of feels like it's being influenced by that.
Yeah.
Is that something that you sense that you're sort of a little bit ahead of the time?
Well, it kind of makes us want to, be Muse or something.
Right,
To do
yeah,
the other
yeah,
thing,
yeah.
to be contrary.
Is that something
Yeah.
you've always tried to do, though, is sort of try and kind of,
No,
whatever
it's just
anyone's
what-
doing is run in the other direction?
Well, maybe it was just what we were into, at the time. But I don't want to just do that, Maybe
Yeah.
we will try and find something else to do now everyone else is doing it.
Yeah. And how do you, when you're sort of playing live, are you the sort of band who come out, nod grumpily to the audience, and then not say a word to them all the way through, rather like Bob Dylan did at the Roundhouse last week?
Yeah, but
Or-
we haven't really got Bob Dylan's kind of back catalogue to back it up.
Yeah,
it's
but it's
kind of
so
a bit tricky
It's so
sometimes.
frustrating. I want to interact with the band.
Yeah, but you saw him. I've never seen him.
I know, but do you talk to the audience, or do you just sullenly look at
grunt
yourself?
and go, all right.
It annoys me that, boys. Come
I've got
on.
nothing to say.
Well, you seem like nice fellas. Just say hi. People like to know because they've come out. They've paid money to see you.
I know, but they haven't come to see us chat.
Yeah, but they just like to know that you're interested. Otherwise, it's like it looks as though Bob was just happy playing. It didn't matter if we were there or not.
But it probably didn't see him because he's
Yeah,
Bob
but it's
Dylan.
rude. But it's rude. Doesn't he care? He doesn't care. But I'm a massive fan of the Boss, as many people know. And the Boss, when he's playing his 4-hour shows, he's having a chat. And that's why the fans
Courtney
come
Cox
back.
comes up on stage.
People
has a
come
little
along
dance.
and he talks and he says, hi everyone, here's Dancing in the Dark. And it's nice. It's nice. You feel included. You feel like Bob cares. That's all I'm saying. Not and then you
We
F
don't even
off.
do that.
Do you not even do that? Do you introduce the band at any point like Elvis?
What, under a proper jazz number sort of thing? No.
On bass guitar. Yeah, well listen, all I'm saying is, I've seen upwards of 8 bands live, okay? Live. And, the ones that I always go back and see again are the people who interact. They pay attention to the crowd. Listen, simple stagecraft, sue me. You are going to know another tune for us. This also from the album Light Bulbs. Yeah, and this one is Knickerbocker.
That's right.
Tremendous, let's hear it. Tremendous. Knickerbocker from Fujiya Miyagi from the album Light Bulbs, which is currently available. Is that low energy Light Bulbs?
No, it's the really old-fashioned, really
Good.
bad ones.
I was going to say, because otherwise it would have been very rock and roll, so it's nice. It's very punk
Yeah.
to still be using the old 100 watts. I imagine it's 100 watt.
100, yeah.
Yeah, come on, rock and roll. It's like the blooming Sex Pistols on Grundy in here, isn't it? Wild. We've got a series of questions. I don't know how you feel about answering these. It's the same questions we ask all our bands. Anyone can throw in an answer. Just react off the top of your head, first thing that comes into your mind. If the band could jump into a film and live the life in that film, what film would it be?
Time Machine.
Time Machine? Did he say the Time Machine?
Yeah.
What did he say? He said something.
It's a Time Machine.
He did say Time Machine.
Wasn't that inventive, really?
He was meddling with his microphone, and he said Time Machine. Does he mean the original or the more recent remake? I'm thinking about the remake. Use the microphone.
I'm thinking about the remake. With Malcolm McDowell.
No, hang on. No, you're confused. I think you're thinking of the film Time After Time. Or do you know the one where he goes into...
You're right.
Is that the one?
That's the one.
Where I think he plays H.G. Wells, and he chases Jack the Ripper through a through a time machine into modern day New York.
That's the one we're talking about.
Come on. All right. I asked him a question. He thought he was going to be cheeky and a wise ass, and yet we've actually had a sensible conversation by the end of it and educated people. It's a great little film, yes. But there was a more recent remake with I'll come back to you on that one.
The Australian.
The Australian Guy Pearce. Guy Pearce? I think it was Guy Pearce. Round of applause for Steve. He is on fire tonight. Gentlemen, what advice would you give your teenage selves?
Cut your hair sooner.
Cut your hair sooner, really? Were you mistaken for a girl a lot?
Yeah. Ugly girl.
Oh no! Oh, that's a shame. And finally, do you have any kind of recurring nightmares or dreams?
Come on, boys.
Oh, I did have one where I used to get sucked up a chimney whilst the headmaster stood by the side of the chimney. But I haven't had that for a while.
That's extraordinary. When you say you got sucked up a chimney,
yeah,
you weren't up a chimney and you got drawn up the chimney. You weren't up a chimney with someone else. No, right, I see.
No, straight up the fireplace. Up the
so
chimney.
You were just stood in the lounge or something.
Yeah, exactly.
And then
in the
suddenly,
lounge.
why? And you were.
So the room was
chimney.
empty.
Right.
Always empty, apart from the headmaster.
The headmaster.
Just standing there. Mortarboard, cane.
Did he have any involvement in the sucking process, or he was not involved in that?
No, I think it was I suppose it was the better of two evils, I suppose. Headmaster or...
I see, so he was thinking of perhaps caning you or something for being bad, but you got sucked up the chimney.
I don't know.
Did you go right up the chimney and out the other end?
This is the first time I've ever talked about it.
I'm so proud that we're having this exclusive. It's world
it
exclusive.
kind of ended, it went up the chimney, that's it.
And then did you wake up in a fright?
I kind of think the dream just progressed onto normal kind of mundane dream-like stuff.
Sure,
after that.
you're just wandering around, with no trousers or whatever, but you always remember the sucking up the chimney. Well, that is tremendous, thank you. I think that might be the best answer that we've ever had to that question. And if you are out there and you can get in touch with some kind of dream interpretation and let us know what that means, then I'm sure these boys would be very happy to hear that. Gentlemen, as I say, the album Light Bulbs is out now. You are on tour in Europe, is that right? People can catch
Sort
you?
of sporadically.
Okay.
Got a bit of time off, which is nice.
So there's probably some kind of website or MySpace page people can check out.
Yeah.
Great.
MySpace, I imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not fully across that side of it. You guys do the music, let some other player deal with that.
Yeah, I don't know what I suppose it's probably Fuji Miyagi's in the title somewhere.
Sure. Have you heard of the web? Are you familiar with that?
Yeah.
Good. Well, all the very best, guys. No, it's tremendous to have you in. Thank you so much for being on our last show, and it's a real pleasure to have you in. Thank you very much. Very round of applause, please, for Fuji Miyagi. We're all in good spirits and trust Tiny Dan to bring us down with a beautiful, if inappropriate, tune by Elbow. Thanks so much, Dan. Another reason why I quit.
Yes, quite right, sir. I didn't realise it was scheduled for after the joy of Fujii Miyagi, but in it came and it brought everybody down. So just much like I've done